think you guys are down one. He hits that first three. Were you like, okay, I think something's happening here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, lately he's been on fire pretty much from three, and there's a couple plays we go to for him to get those threes, and that broke the game open, and he was the biggest reason why today.
Tell me about your defense on Pruitt, because he's a really good player, averaging 16 in the last 12. You really shut him down. What'd you do defensively?
Initially, he kind of reminded me of myself because he was always cutting and I kept losing him. But eventually, it came down to staying in front, and that was all. And being physical with them, I guess, it's a different conference, so I felt like it reminded me a little bit of the Valley. So just playing that way and being familiar with that, and just keeping them in front. That was the whole game.
In terms of just defensive execution, could you guys have played much better?
Besides a couple minute stretch there in the first half, and then at the end of the game a little bit, but for 35 minutes I would say it was one of our more complete defensive games.
You and me actually talked about this the other day about Jefferson and 41 out there. I mean, I felt like that was one of the keys to the game, how Joshua D'd him up.
Yeah, I mean, Josh did an amazing job because I could just tell he was getting frustrated. And 41 was because Joshua just kept like poking the ball, playing physically, and I think he hasn't seen that much this year. And Joshua can guard 1 through 5, so it's impressive.
You guys were up early. They go on that 8-0 run. I think they took like a 1-point lead. Milan hits the three, and then you guys never looked back. What was that timeout like? What did Coach say to you?
No, it wasn't. He was pretty calm and stoic, but he just said, "This is we know what we came here to do. What the game plan was, and this game really came down to the game plan, which was staying in front of your guys, not getting rotations. And once we started doing that, it was kind of a snowball effect."
You had the two baseline cuts for the dunks, and kind of as you guys poured it on. I mean, what makes you such a good baseline cutter and getting behind the defense like that?
I just say it's more about how good my teammates are, so they draw double teams, or I just try to find my way behind the defense. When one of them, Milan, was posting up, they had a double, and the other one, me and J. Jeff just have a little bit of a connection when it comes to cutting. He's a phenomenal passer. He almost had a triple-double today, but I would say it's all about my teammates and the attention they draw, so I can just kind of be in the shadows a little bit.
What was your first NCAA tournament game like? I mean, was it everything that you thought it would be?
Yeah, I would say there was a little bit of nerves on 3 versus 14. A lot of people are saying if there's an upset on the 3 seed line, it's going to be us. So you just didn't want that to happen. So there was a little bit of nerves with that. But once the game started going, once we hit the 16-minute mark, it was completely fine.
You mentioned Milan and how he's making everything. Was it kind of like the second half of Houston? It felt like he kind of took over that game, even though you guys lost. Is that kind of when you saw it click too?
Yeah, I mean, when it was 15-16, like you mentioned, they were winning. It was like we needed something, and he came 3-4 possessions in a row, and then they had to call timeout. We were up 10, and then the game was over from then on. I mean, it was one of the more impressive things I've seen.